A few years ago, I used to think that saving even 10k was impossible for me. But there was this little voice in my head, my second brain, that kept saying, even if you manage to save up 10k, then it's still not enough to quit working forever. And honestly, it felt like the real goal was more like £100,000, which at that time seemed totally out of reach for me. Fast forward to now, I did manage to save up my first 10k, and in the process, I've learned some important lessons which no financial app, no cheat sheet, and definitely no quote unquote financial guru could have taught me. So, in this video, I'm going to share those important points with you, raw, real, and straight from my experience. And the number one point is this is your peace of mind money. I call your first 10k is your peace of mind fund. So that means that if you achieve this ballpark, then you'd feel that little comfort of achieving something, and it removes mental barrier block, and you can now achieve five figures, so which essentially means achieving a new milestone, and which again deserves a pat on the back. So if you're stuck at 3k, 4k, 5k, or even 8k, and if you feel that you're still crawling, then don't worry, you're far ahead than 21% of people in the UK. So as per this article published by the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, here in the UK, 1 in 10 people have no cash savings at all, and another 21% of people have savings less than £1,000 to withdraw for an emergency. So, on an average, if you would want to save £10,000 in the next 3 years, then I've done a little math here. So, essentially you can save £277 and 78 pence, which is roughly around £280 a month. Then you can achieve this ballpark figure, and this will remain the same for my US friends. So even they would want to save up $10,000, then again $280 a month. It is still doable, my friend, and it seems not a lot of money, but it definitely helps you in many awkward situations. And this leads to my second point, which is why 10k as a solid emergency backup plan. So now there are two methods here. So according to this first method, which is a little bit complicated, so first of all, you need to find out what are your main emergencies are, and you need to categorize them and allocate them into a specific emergency fund for each categories. So generally speaking, there are four major categories. The first one is job related, the second is health related, this third one is house maintenance, and the fourth one is car maintenance. So let's discuss the first category, which is job related. So just in case if you're fired all of a sudden, then you'd need some money to cover your daily expenses, and this is usually around 3 to 6 months of expenses only, not your leisure expenses. So I'm not covering your leisure expenses here. So 3 to 6 months of money, the essential expenses that you need to save up, and for that you can allocate a specific fund. You can create a dedicated fund for that in a separate account. That's what it is all about. The second one is health related. So just in case any health emergencies arise, then you might need to have some money, and I also do cover the PAT insurance money as well as health insurance money. And if any patients, or sorry, if any elder people are living at your house, then you need to save up for them as well. So again, like I would put any type of health related expenses into this category. The third one is house maintenance, which is a bit tricky one. So you need some extra money just in case if you need some money for any emergency roof repairs, or all of a sudden in the December month your heat pump breakdown, or any type of boiler breakdown, or any type of expenses. So you need to allocate a specific fund for house maintenance. And it's a very broad subject, because what happens is nowadays many of my friends and relatives, they do have home appliance insurance policies as well. So you need to think that how much amount of insurance expenses am I paying each month. So all those expenses you can categorize in that. You can create a dedicated fund for that as well. So usually speaking, people do keep at least around like £6,000 to £8,000 for these kind of emergencies. And that is this basically topic is all about saving up separately. Okay, now the fourth one is car maintenance. Now It depends on the car situation here. So the major expense would be the engine breakdown, and then you need to spend money on that. But most of the cars in the UK as well as in the USA are insured. So again, any car insurances, like any type of breakage and anything like that, road cover and things like that, we would include into this emergency. So all in all, it seems a bit complicated method. So in this first method, what happens is that you need to first of all understand what are the emergency expenses are, and need to collect a specific fund for that, and you're saving for that particular emergencies only. But this second method, which is very simple, and which is just saving 10,000 pounds, and according to this method, just save up 10,000 pounds, which will cover major expenses, and you just need to park this 10,000 pounds into a high yield savings account, so you can withdraw whenever you would want. So we are not aiming for any type of investment return here. So we are not talking about ROIs here. So we are just reserving this fund for our emergencies, so we can withdraw at any time. So for example, if you need to withdraw any money, then you can, for any emergency expenses, then you can withdraw that particular money. Let's say for example, 2,000 pound for any boiler maintenance or any other type of house job. Then the essentially the main fundamentals is what it says, that you need to put back in to that fund again. That's why it is a peace of mind fund. So once you have that 10,000 pounds, then you can use that fund whenever these emergencies arise. And this is essentially not for holiday purposes. So many people would think that, okay, I can use this 10,000 pounds for my Switzerland holiday, but that is not the case. So for that, you can have as different type of leisure a dedicated fund as well. So once the emergency is been sorted, then you need to put back in that money into the same peace of mind fund. And that is why this is a solid emergency backup plan. This leads to my point number 3, and which is, it teaches you financial discipline. So the journey to your financial goal teaches you a lot about sacrifices, which no one talks about here. So these sacrifices reminds us to stay in discipline. And the best practice to do is to pay yourself first and automate your finances. So as soon as your salary lands into your bank account, then a certain portion, for example here 280 pounds, should go to your peace of mind fund straight away. And you could create a standing order these days, and which is very easy. These also teaches you about important lessons, such as where am I spending most of my money and what should I do about those unwanted direct debits. So after hitting your first 10k, your financial discipline helps to create a momentum, which again helps to achieve your very next goal, such as 20k, 50k, even 100k. Even that becomes very easy. But these things happens when the compounding effects kicks in. And this leads to my point number 4, which is, it unlocks investing opportunities. I liked the idea of saving 10k, and that is for emergencies only. And I'm not keen on investing it through my SIPs or even ISAs. And I favor high yield savings bank account, even if it gives me 4% return, which is not even CAGR. But I would want to have that flexibility so that I can withdraw at any time whenever I need it. And once it serves the purpose, then I'll put the money back into the account. And that is pretty much all about this peace of mind fund. But what I've noticed is that it, after hitting my first 10k, it unlocks the potential and the power of investing. So now I can invest more freely, more confidently, and now I'm able to take more risks, because that 10k, my peace of mind fund, is sorted. Suppose if you invest 100 pounds each month in S&P 500 and you manage to get around 7% CAGR, then you'll hit your first 10k in the next 7 years. But now it only takes 5 years to hit your next 10k, which is your 20,000 pounds, because this compounding effect kicks in. And that makes your life a bit easy. And you now think that you haven't had thought about it initially when you had invested your first 10,000 pounds by just putting in 100 pounds each month. Now, after having some savings plus investment, you'd emotionally feel positive. And this leads to my next point, my friend, and which is it reduces financial anxiety. Due to lifestyle inflation and that constant chase to follow next trend, I call this shiny penny syndrome, such as, oh, iPhone 17 Pro is rolling out next week, or oh, because my friend has bought a new house, then now I need to buy a new house bigger than him. I need to have my new BMW car because I don't want to go back to my old days. So the main cause is poor mindset and poor mental health conditions. But if we reprogram our mind into a wealthy mindset, then I think we can do really well. I've read one book called The Winning Effect by Ian Robertson. So the theme of this book was, once you get your first win, then it gives you that confidence to believe that you can win again. And very soon you realize that all of a sudden, whatever you do is just win. And you start to believe that you can win again and again. And those smaller, small wins will help you to unlock some opportunities. And also, it teaches you to believe that you can do really well. And not only that, it will also help you to learn some important tricks along the journey. I'm not saying that saving your first 10k will help you to achieve your dream life, and it is more than enough to leave your current job and just live off of that 10,000 pound, which is technically speaking, it's not possible. But yes, it will definitely give you enough help to stay in discipline, to stay in check, and push you for your any future objectives, such as investing passively with a three fund strategy. And if you want to know more about how this three fund strategy works, then please watch my video next.